ad quality, what was like mentioned over there, it is raising all the time, and kind of like at the same time, more we are speaking about it, the worse it gets at the same time. In some, like with ad templates, for example. So that is definitely something. And I was surprised to see on in the poll that so few people mentioned publishers, because we as a publishers have the power to like say that, okay, this is not okay. You are not okay to be like as our partners. We have to do something.
We publishers and advertisers should not mislead and be polite to users and provide with the app more value. And I think that the biggest bottleneck or the biggest challenge for publishers is to provide more value for users.
Ad monetization looks like a revenue problem until it becomes a trust problem. So you think, yes, turn it up, fill in the slots, optimize the yield. But that's the type of mindset that will wreck retention and long-term value. Recorded at the Google App Summit in Dublin, I caught up with publishers to talk about where this breaks down, why ad quality can't be disconnected from the product experience. And remember, this episode is part of the Player First Perspectives mini-series here on MobileGroove and powered by App Harbor. So the conversation starts here, but it doesn't stop because it continues inside the Player First Collective on Slack, a group that you can join, and the links are in the show notes.
So Otto, you're almost like a fixture, the furniture at every event. I know you really well, but for people who don't know you, tell me a little bit about yourself and Fingersoft.
Yeah, my name is Otto, and I work as an head of player acquisition and monetization at Fingersoft. We work everything with user acquisition, campaign management, ad monetization, IAP monetization, and ASO. And there's also a little bit of data people also involved in this.
So I mean, that's just it. You are deep into the product. You are Mr. Admon. What are you thinking about Google's products, the announcements you've heard? I mean, there's a lot coming. It must be exciting, something to think about and plan as you go into Q4 and beyond.
Yeah, actually there's a lot of stuff that we hear from Google already, like thing in these events that we have such a good account manager that is sharing already this information. So there are not that many surprises over there, even though the new ad formats were actually, that was interesting, what was shown over there. But yeah, so far being very interested, and also like I'm happy to see like how the user acquisition and the monetization are now going hand in hand, which they should be, because they are the same thing basically, but other way around.
Absolutely. I mean, we made the point on stage, right? The app experience is the experience. The ad experience is part of that.
Yes.
What about the headaches out there, the pain points? What do you feel is going to be difficult or challenging, or what is maybe even more challenging for you that we need to know about or needs to be addressed?
I think the ad quality, what was like mentioned over there, it is raising all the time, and kind of like at the same time, more we are speaking about it, the worse it gets at the same time. In some, like with ad templates, for example. So that is definitely something. And I was surprised to see on in the poll that so few people mentioned publishers, because we as a publishers have the power to like say that, okay, this is not okay. You are not okay to be like as our partners. We have to do something. We a little bit been struggling on this like or else wording, but we have been like, okay, or else is that we are removing for you for like a period of time, if it doesn't change. So we actually have this power, and we have seen that earlier there was this Unity boycott, for example, when they introduced these fees. You need to change their course because there were so many publishers like removing them from ad stack, for example. So we actually have the power, so I believe so.
I like that. That's a very inspiring way of looking at it. Actually, yes, we do have the power. And what do you think, in addition to understanding and wielding this power, what do you think is a trend or a capability that people in Admon, that your peers are going to have to adopt next year?
at least they need to have certain guidelines, I think, what measures they do take if the ad quality doesn't get improving. And also that is very good point over there, like measuring the retention on the long term. Like you can say like, okay, we did the changes, nothing changed in like a short period. You really need to do that in a long time. And also understanding that you are investing a lot of money on the user acquisition. And then when you're ditching like 70% of your acquired users because of bad advertisement. So it's like, you don't want to do that actually.
Now, there's a lot at stake, and we also discussed that because it is a mass media. And when the mass media is brand safe and user respectful of users, then there's going to be a business. What about AI? Because, that is a big topic. What's your take on like the AI playground or what AI can be doing with regards to making that ad experience better?
I don't know, maybe how I see the AI at the moment is that there's a lot of information that, for example, Gemini can share with you, and it doesn't actually help in a sense that kind of like asking like how to make my ad quality better. It can obviously gives like your obvious answers, but I think like overall the AI getting better at detecting those like fake ads and malicious ads, and also learning to detect those which are trying to fool the AI, because there's always a counteract on that. So because like let's say like adding 10 seconds of bad content in a otherwise completely okay advertisement, so that can fool the AI to think that okay, this is good, but we need to have a so good model that it can pick all these shorter ones also out of the play.
We're nearing the end of the year. I mean, some people say there's a Q5, right? There's not just Q4. What for you was outstanding? Maybe there was an outstanding industry development or even just an outstanding ad or ad format that if you could give an award, you would for the best of the year.
I think it is like more like optimizing the engagement, like making, for example, in the gaming. So making really the users understand what the reward is in a rewarded video, so that they understand the value exchange. Because and then when they see that and they have like a lot of options, enough options to like pick like, okay, I want to have like extra lives, I want to get extra in-game currencies. Those can be actually different audiences also. So kind of like showing the users that content that they actually craving for in the game. So I think that brings more engagement. And I think that overall, like the rewarded video engagement is like one of my favorite topics, in a sense that kind of we've been struggling with that. We have a lot of ad placements in the games, but then like, do the users actually engage with those, or should like less be more in that sense also, that showing them only what they are actually needing at that point of the game, or what it could be application the same, like what they want to have.
Yes, I would imagine be seeing you again at another event very soon.
Yes, definitely. So,
Thanks so much.
yes, yeah, thank you.
So a great reason to be at an amazing event like Google App Summit is you can meet some publishers only invite-only event. So that happens to me. And I go up and I see Anastasiia and I say to myself, 6037. Now that is a unique name for an app company, but it has a meaning. So tell me about that.
Yes, it's quite unique. 6037, it's square kilometers of Ukraine. Our company based in Ukraine. In our portfolio, there are 2 apps in fashion and makeup niche, beauty niche. And the company name is 6037.
You are at this event and there's been so much talked about, different products, different announcements. What is it that you are perhaps most impressed with, or what you're using depending on your app?
Yes, actually our apps are have subscription models, but we are of course curious about AI, about future of publishing apps. So I'm curious more about AI, and of course how to grow with different model of monetization.
A lot of different announcements today, new products, but something that struck you, something that you're like, yes, that's exciting.
Yeah, I think for me it will be about hybrid monetization, that you should launch and scale hybrid monetization. I never thought about this in this perspective. So I found this one is one of the greatest insight for me.
And of course, as a subscription app, I mean, that's really, really brave. If you're looking at the headaches in the industry, the pain points, what do you think is the biggest pain point right now in AdMon? I mean, okay, you've got a subscription app, so that means more than the average, I would think.
Yeah, for sure, it's app value for users, and it's ad quality of our advertising. We publishers and advertisers should not mislead and be polite to users and provide with the app more value. And I think that the biggest bottleneck or the biggest challenge for publishers is to provide more value for users.
Interesting. I mean, there was also in the session that I did, we talked about ad policy and having that in place. Do you have one in place?
Yeah, for sure. And in connection to ad policy, platforms as Google, they provide more restrictions and for advertisers to provide more value and trust for users. So, of course, we are, as a publisher, thinking about it for sure.
Well, I certainly do have the controls to do that as well in the AdMob platform. You talked about all the ad experiences. You know, it's important to have a quality ad experience. What is the most memorable creative or ad experience that you've seen in 2025?
I would choose two of them. One is more brand campaign for OpenAI, which is shows OpenAI as something native experience for users, and more about digital is advertising for Preply, platform for learning languages. When they are communicate to their competitor Duolingo, I found this two ads as more, I don't know, excited. I feel excited about it.
So it's a bit of a comparison, right?
Yes, for sure. Their play with that the Preply provide native speakers, and they shows Duolingers as a quite crazy students who are just learning words, and it also has good sense of humor. That's why it works, I believe.
I think that's it, isn't it? Because if it's got a good sense of humor, that is memorable, that stays with you.
But it works more for brand campaigns, brand awareness campaigns. If we are talking about performance, it's always balanced between performance, misleading, and trustworthy advertising. So we need to get more clicks, higher conversion, and at the same time provide product value or product features which user will accept as value.
Which I find really admirable, because you're talking about the ad experience and also that balance, that trade-off. What's one piece of advice you think that everyone in AdMon needs to adopt this year going into next year?
So my advice may be too simple: invest more in AI and AI creative in creation creatives with AI generated creatives, and at the same time to grow value and LTV of your app.
That's what I found very interesting, is it's also not just about picking the winner, but understanding a little bit more about, the ad itself. What does it do for that segment? And that's something that Google also spoke about. Your view on the AI playground. I would imagine you're using it internally, right?
I would say that I want to use it more because it's really the pace as it develops is too fast. We use it. For me, I'm in charge of marketing team, and we use it a lot for generate creatives with AI. We use a lot of different tools for that. Of course, I think this is the future of ad. Actually, on the market there are a lot of UGC creatives, and AI. I believe in a short period of time will provide us with the quality of video which is will be different to recognize.
That's true. It's going to get very, very sophisticated and very real. Very real. Let's leave with some advice that is going to stay with people, especially if they're just starting out. You're just starting out with an app. What's your piece of advice to that, to studios, to companies just starting out today?
Invest in market research, choose the product which you want to use and you will be used by yourself, and just start, do something, test and learn and scale.
That's what we've heard before, but now it's next level.
Yes, now it's next level, but I have just visited the session with about user behavior in the future and arise new niches where you can in and scale your app. Colleague from Google said that the future is about on a new app. New app will be get more revenues than all apps.
Because the segmentation will be much smarter. And talking about smart, Anastasiia, a very smart interview with you as well. Just such a pleasure to talk with you. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.